Everything that is happening to you is happening through you, and everything that is happening through you is happening for you. Nothing happens to you that you do not want to have happen. Nothing. You can imagine that things happen to you that you do not want to have happen. But this is not what is so, and it merely allows you to think of yourself as a victim. Most people think that going home means returning to God. But you cannot return to God because you never left God, and your soul knows this. This separation is an illusion, and your soul knows this. Only feeling produces full awareness. You can know that you are divine, but when you experience yourself being divine, then your awareness is made complete through the living of that feeling. You can know that you are loving, but when you experience yourself being loving, then your awareness is made complete through the living of that feeling. Let us make one thing clear here again. You are always immersed in the divine. You're immersed in it right now. Indeed, you are it. You are divinity, immersed in divinity, expressing itself as the individuated aspect of divinity known as you. Therefore, in the truest sense, you are not on a journey home. You are already there. You are home with God always. You already are where you would seek to be. The extraordinary secret is that knowing this immediately brings you the experience of this. I have said that in the truest sense, you are not on a journey. You already are where you want to go. But since you do not know this, your experience is that you are on a journey. So, you must make the journey to find out that the journey is not necessary. You must embark on the path to find out that the path begins and ends right where you are. Perspective creates perception. How we look at something creates how we see it. The student of mastery is one who always agrees with the experience she is having, even if that experience does not appear favorable, because the student of mastery knows that she must have intended it at some level. That knowing is what makes it possible for one person to be utterly peaceful and together during circumstances that another would find very stressful. It is impossible to be a victim of circumstances you create. I affect what I see by the very way that I look at it, or whether I look at it at all. If you look at a flower and know that God is there, you will see God there. Otherwise, you will see nothing more than a flower. You may even see a weed. If you look into the eyes of another and know that God is there, you will see God there. Otherwise, you will see nothing more than another human being. You may even see a villain. If you look into your eyes in a mirror and know that God is there, you will see God there. Otherwise, you will see nothing more than a person trying to figure out who's there. You may even see a person who does not have the answer to that question. What you hope, you will eventually believe. What you believe, you will eventually know. What you know, you will eventually create. What you create, you will eventually experience. What you experience, you will eventually express. What you express, you will eventually become. This is the formula for all of life. It means that ultimate reality is far more complex than you may ever have imagined. It means there is more going on here that meets the eye. I tell you that all possibilities exist at all times. You are choosing the possibility that you wish now to experience from a multidimensional field of infinite possibilities. And there is another you making different choices right here, right now. Describing this scene to someone else later, you might hear yourself saying, "At last, there it was, just what I was looking for." Of course, there is no "at last" about it. You could just as easily have said, "At first, there it was." The coveted book was there all along, waiting for you to see it. It did not show up later. Indeed, it did not show up at all. It did not arrive at a certain time. It was there all along. Yet you did not see it because you were not looking at it. You did not move toward it. Yet everything in that room was there. It all existed simultaneously. You saw what was there, discovered it, and therefore experienced it sequentially. Thus, the moment was truly sequentaneous. A thing does not suddenly appear when you see it. Your seeing it makes it suddenly appear to you. Those who dabble in elementary quantum physics would say that nothing is there until you see it. Your seeing it there puts it there. Yet, more advanced science now knows that even this is not the ultimate statement of how things are. In ultimate reality, things are there before you see them. That is, multiple possibilities exist at all times. Every conceivable outcome of every conceivable situation exists right here, right now, and is occurring right here, right now. What does make you choose one thing over the other? My idea about what is there? Indeed. Also, your idea about yourself. What then is your destiny? How will you live your life? How will you see the people, places, and events in it? And how will it all turn out? It will depend on how you look at it. You are both the victim and the villain and have been both in your life. And none of it is real. None of it. You are making it all up. You, as pure spirit, can move through this singular reality, sometimes called the singularity, in endless cycles as you continue to experience yourself. You are this singularity. You are the stuff of which it is made, the pure essence, the energy. You are an individuation of this energy and this essence. You are an individuation of the singularity. The singularity is what some of you call God. The individuation is what some of you call you. You can split yourself up and move through the singularity in many different directions. You call these varying movements through the space-time continuum lifetimes. These are the cycles of the self that reveal the self to the self through the cycling of the self through the self. You would know fully who you really are. You would be living in absolute awareness. So absolute would be your awareness. So complete would be your knowing and experiencing that others would know and experience who you are as well. And they would call you rabbi and master and teacher. They might even swear that I am the one. Yes. And they might think that there is no other like you. Then it would be your job to convince them that this is inaccurate and that every one of them is like you, and that they can all know and experience all that you know and experience. What you know and experience would be your greatest joy, and you would seek to share it with everyone. And you would think nothing of giving up your physical life if doing so meant that you could show others who they really are. It might look as if other people are taking your life, but you would know exactly what is happening. You would know that no one dies against his will, neither at a time nor in a way that is not of his choosing. And so you would use your death as a moment of creation, producing in many others an opening to a much larger reality. Indeed, what is the message and the purpose of all death and of all of life? The message is what you announce it to be. The purpose is what you demonstrate it to be. You do the announcing and the demonstrating through the living of your life. You are both the message and the messenger. You are both the creator and the created. You are in the process of producing the message, even as you are delivering it. Indeed, the process of delivering it is the process of producing it. They are one and the same. I am not outside the apple, but a part of the apple, moving through the apple. And the entire apple is God. God is not only at the core, at the center of all things, God is all things. The master simply feels the feeling, allows the feeling, and experiences the feeling fully. Then the master decides whether there will be any benefits in trying to put that feeling into words. Feelings are your first thought, your pure thought. A feeling is a wordless thought. It conveys a great deal without saying anything. Feelings are the language of the soul. What would it look like if I were acting uh, like it, being one with God? First, you would never entertain negative thoughts in your mind again. Second, if a negative thought did happen to slip in, you would get it out of your mind immediately. You would think of something else deliberately. You would simply change your mind about that. Third, you will begin to not only understand who you really are, but to honor and demonstrate that. That is, you would move from what you know to what you experience as the measure of your own evolution. Fourth, you would love yourself fully, just as you are. Fifth, you would love everyone else fully, just as they are. Sixth, you would love life fully, just as it is. Seventh, you would forgive everyone, everything. Eighth, you would never deliberately hurt another human being again, emotionally or physically. At least of all, would you ever do this in the name of God. Ninth, you would never mourn the death of another again, not even for a moment. You might mourn your loss, but not their death. Tenth, you would never fear or mourn your own death, not even for a moment. 11th, you would be aware that everything is vibration, everything. And so, you'd pay much more attention to the vibration of everything that you eat, of everything that you wear, of everything that you watch, read, or listen to, and most important, of everything that you think, say, and do. 12th, you would do whatever it takes to adjust the vibration of your own energy and the life energy that you are creating around you. If you find that it is not in resonance with the highest knowing you have about who you are and the greatest experience of this that you can possibly imagine. Just prior to the emergence, the soul hovers before the light. It basks in the glow of the essence. All feelings of fear or apprehension or uneasiness of any kind dropped away during the race through the passage. Now, the essence is radiating pure love, and the soul before it experiences what can only be described as an enveloping sense of being covered. It feels like a flow of sweat, of sweet heat. It feels like a flow of sweet heat to the just arriving soul. It is a gentle warmth covering the soul entirely. Together with this heat comes a feeling for which there is no single word in the world of physical sensation. It is the feeling of being seen utterly and completely. Everything good and everything bad that the soul may have thought of itself is now spread before it, and astonishingly, all of it, the bad and the good, is slowly being absorbed by the light. Accepted as its own is how it feels. Now, into this openness, where shame and pride once coexisted, a new feeling is being poured. It might be characterized as a single and almost conglomerate feeling that encompasses 1,000 individual feelings, now slowly filling the soul. A feeble attempt would call it the feeling of being warmly embraced, deeply comforted, dearly cherished, profoundly appreciated, genuinely treasured, softly nurtured, profoundly understood, completely forgiven, wholly absolved, long awaited, happily welcomed, totally honored, joyously celebrated, absolutely protected, instantly perfected, and unconditionally loved all at once. This is the blanket theory. Everything that I could ever be or want, I already am and have right now. But if we are identifying with none of those aspects of ourselves, then what are we identifying with? Nothing. Nothing. We are identifying with nothing at all. No thing in particular. In the moment of emergence, you identify with the all, which means that you identify with nothing in particular. Nothing at all.